Let's go! Who's up next?
Welcome, Internet, to the Xbox Empire podcast, part of the Play Some Video Games network of podcasts. I'm Elaine. Donnie's here. We're back. Oh, baby. We had a nice little 2-week... Well, we didn't do live shows for 2 weeks, but there is content in the feed, and if you haven't checked it out, there is a delightful DLC episode all about me and a Nintendo Shack Empire crossover with Rebecca, Garrett, Donnie, and I that is a lovely show. So if you need to break up like the arguing game of the year podcast with just a little love fest, it's a little love fest, a little love podcast fest about all our favorite things this year. So, you know, check those out, but like not right now. Right now, you should be listening to this. So before we get into what we've been doing and the little bit of news that we do have, Donnie, we got something to talk about. Some channel notes. So I'll let you take it away with that as you clear your throat.
Dear friend of PSVG, Bobby Pauls, aka the Nintendo Guru, came down with COVID around Halloween. Was put into medically induced coma, I believe, and was under for like 2 months. And I believe he's still being aided by a ventilator, although he has steadily been improving, and he's like somewhat, you know, back to, he's still in the hospital, so it's not like good, but it's better. And we just felt, I have felt really bad about the whole situation, just knowing what bills for something like that would account for. And Bobby has, I've podcasted with Bobby for years, and it's very funny because Bobby and I could almost be considered Nintendo rivals or contrasts. Like in the Nintendo sphere, we're very different. I love No More Heroes. He loves Animal Crossing. You know, like we both have big Nintendo fandom, but very different Nintendo fandom. And I love him for it. And we both love Mario and we love Zelda. And we do that thing. And he's really good friends and Patreon, partner with Sean Capri, and just the overlap between PSVG, Nintendo Talk, and Cup of Joe, and everything that Bobby and Sean do and what we do is huge. We almost share the same audience, I would imagine. So there was a movement within the podcast ranks, the Podern family, if you will, like, hey, we should probably do a little more for Bobby. Like, we could do more, which I do agree with. We could do more. And I was approached with joining in an effort to Game for Guru, which we announced yesterday. God, it feels like a age ago that we announced it. It's been a day.
It's been a day. It is on Donnie's Twitter, just as a note, and
absolutely.
PSVG Twitter. So if you feel like we're giving you a lot of information right now, don't worry. Worry not. It will be on the internet.
It's there. It's in the Discord. And essentially what we are doing in short order is Extra Life for Bobby. We are going to be gaming for Bobby, raising money, and we have put up some prizes if you would be so kind to donate. So you can donate. Again, check the Twitter, check the Discord, reach out to me. I'm sure at some point we'll put the notes out. But what this means for the show is that next week's show will be delayed until Sunday, as PSVG will be streaming all day, starting at 10 a.m. in the morning until midnight. The Empire goes at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So we are the anchor. We're in the anchor spot lane, and you and I are closing it out.
That's where we belong, Donnie. All right? Late night, real dumb. That's where we belong.
I have sold some personal belongings. I have cashed out some credit rewards, and I have pulled some of our Patreon funds, and I have put together several prizes that PSVG itself is putting up, including an Xbox Series S. So if you did not get a new next-gen console, if you just donate, you have to donate $10 to get an entry. If you just donate, you can be entered into an entry. And we are partnering with Sean Capri, obviously, the Nintendo Dads, the Mega Dads, Quest for Pixels, Holly Crossing, Kato Potato. There's so many. I guarantee you I won't be able to rattle them all off. But what we're doing is we're throwing all of our prizes into one big pot. And then everybody that donates will be entered to win one of those prizes. So I know I'm doing Game Pass, 6 months of Game Pass. You donate $10, you can win 6 months of Game Pass. Like, there's a lot there. We've tried our best to make it worth your while, even if you don't know Bobby. But obviously, this is for a good cause, for somebody close to the family that's going through a hard time. So, yeah, Gaming for Guru will be there. We're streaming the Nintendo Shack, Empire, Game Tech. Kevin's going to be streaming Fortnite. Garrett's going to be streaming on his own. I believe PlayStation XP will go live. So next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, we'll all be doing that. So next week's shows will be delayed by a few days. And I know we're coming off the holiday break, so I apologize for being just a little bit off schedule, but hopefully people understand.
One week, good cause. So that will be the 17th of this month. And we will, look, if you follow us in any forum on any part of social media, you will be reminded.
Yeah,
repeatedly.
Of course.
But we wanted to put it up at the top of the show. That way we're like, look, heads up. No live show Wednesday, live show Sunday.
Yep.
Hang out. You got nothing to do on a Sunday night, y'all. Just come on. Even less to do than on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, we'll be announcing schedules and calendars and more and prizes and stuff like that all next week. Like, we know we're announcing way out in advance. We're just kind of spreading the word. We've got hundreds, I think thousands actually, of game codes to give away.
Guys, there's all kinds of stuff, and it's for a good thing. It's
Yeah.
for people that are close to our people. So
You're not just going to have to donate to get the games. Like, I'm going to start giving game codes away on the stream. I'm going to start giving away on Twitter for people that are helping us share the news and stuff. So pay attention. Just maybe set up alerts for me or something. Like, we've got codes that we're going to start handing out to kind of spread the word.
oh, the bonus if you set up Donnie alerts is you'll get weird memes too. It'll be fun. You're gonna get some real nonsense. Can you? Oh, an alert on my phone. Is it a game code or is it hot, spicy nonsense?
There you go.
All right. Like, besides that, which has been a big undertaking for you and having some holiday time off, you've had a lot of undertakings, but what have you been doing that's not
Supposed to be my vacation, remember? Not doing anything.
Right.
Get called into this giant Avengers-like group of people to do this whole project.
Which is adorable and lovely and has been very nice for me to watch you guys organize. But, like, what have you been doing on your vacation besides, good for the community?
Well, I'm really excited that you asked because I got back into Valhalla, like I told you
Yeah,
I was
baby.
going to. And I played a lot of Valhalla.
Hey, nice. Probably more than me because I bounced between like a bajillion games.
I'm over 70 hours.
Holy, that's a lot of Viking-ing.
But here's the thing. I'm almost embarrassed to admit this. So actually, before I embarrass myself and everybody, cancels our podcast for what a non-gamer I am, remember that I started Valhalla, played it for 14 days, and then I stopped. Right? And then I started playing Phoenix and all the other stuff, Call of Duty.
Like 12 other games.
Right. So then I am coming back to Valhalla. So just remember that. Okay.
Did you throw yourself off a cliff immediately?
No. So I started playing Valhalla and I'm in my little quest menu and I'm doing them and I do everything. And you remember that quest I was telling you about that was broken?
Yeah.
I found a solution for it online.
Good.
I had to pick up, you don't have to, it is very broken. Like, this is a known issue.
Ubisoft.
But somebody found a way to get it working. And essentially what is not happening is the NPC that you're waiting to make a command is not walking to the place where they need to.
Did you just
so they're like,
shove them?
you can't hit the thing. They're like, but if you pick up an inanimate object, they're like, go kill somebody, pick up the dead body and throw it at her. And when you throw it at her, she moves like a foot.
So you just shoved a dead body at her?
If you just keep throwing it at her like 25 times, you'll eventually move her to the point where she will enact. And it totally worked.
Y'all, video games. Like, you've just captured the entire essence of open world video games.
Yeah,
like you
Skyrim.
just grabbed it and that's some Skyrim ass
right?
nonsense. Like,
so I'm going through the quest menu, doing everything. I'm doing everything.
Sure. You just
I keep doing it. And I'm 10, 20 hours. I'm doing all the icons on the map. And I'm sitting there and I'm realizing, I'm like,
why is none of this advancing the story?
am I at the end of the story? Like, there's
No.
gotta be, and I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, eventually I'll do all these quests and then the story will cause there's nothing telling me. I'm like, what
You
am
have
I
to talk to a character to
what am I
advance.
doing wrong? So I reached out to Takeda in the Discord. I'm like, dude, I need some help. Like, I'm trying to get back into this. I'm like, dude, I've killed all of these zealots. I've got all of these pearls. I've done all of these things. I've done all of these raids. I'm at this point, I was level 109.
Just gonna rub my tongue. I know exactly what he didn't do.
And he's like, are you talking to Ranvi? And I was
Yeah.
like,
You have to
Oh yeah,
interact with
I have
that
to
whole-
go talk to her
and stick a
because
knife in the map.
there was no
and
quest telling me
No.
to go do so.
No, she just has a persistent icon to go chat with her and be like, "Yo, girl, what you need?"
So I
That's what I like
played
to
the
say.
game for like 20 hours, not doing anything.
My
but
co-host
just,
is very good at video games, y'all.
but just doing the world. And then the next level I had to be in was like, the next city I picked was like recommended level 60.
Yeah, and you're like 400 above that.
I was just
Yeah.
slaughtering folks, just
I-
mowing people down left and right.
I love that you completely forgot about this mechanic because it's one of my favorite animations where you just jam a knife into the map
Yeah.
where you're going
Yeah,
next.
it's good.
Like there, I just think that's good because that's how. If I was a Viking, that's how I would handle everything.
I was so embarrassed when
I love
when
it so much,
I was
Johnny.
like, that's awful. I was like, I should have known this, but I took like a month off from the game.
Oh, that's funny. That's actually funny.
And you remember I told you when I took a month off, like I finished it at the end of the siege. So I
So
finished
you
at the point.
Closed a quest point. Yes.
Yeah. So a month later, here I am trying to pick back up on a quest, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Because once you close out one of those, and if there's a word for it, I just forget. You do have to go back to talk to her to initiate the next and be like, "Yo, what's going on? Where do you need me to go?" And she'll give you
Meanwhile,
options.
I've done all of
Meanwhile, you've murdered all the land.
all of like Skyland and everything else that I've done. Like I've done
Everybody.
everything.
Oh my God.
Which
That's
is a
great.
testament to the game that I was entertained that long without actually doing story.
Yeah, I think that the side stuff and the optional stuff that you have to do and the exploration and the little raids are like they're interesting enough to keep you playing it. Like you can totally just do that and be happy.
I am almost level 200, which is crazy because I think Kyle this week on the podcast said that he's almost done with the game and he's level 280.
Yeah.
And he's also only played it for like 70 hours. So we've
That
played it at the
sounds right.
same time,
Yeah.
but he's way more leveled than I am. And he's way further ahead of me, I think. But here's the thing though, I've done like 4 or 5 territories since then.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten a lot of the map. Like I feel
Right.
like I'm almost done. Like I feel like maybe not almost done, but I feel like I'm in the final act. Like I'm in that last leg to go.
I feel like that's the way these bigger open world, like these last 3 Assassin's Creed games have worked. Once you feel like you've touched all the major parts of the map, you're close. Like they'll clean you up and give you options, and then you can expedite the story if you want. I know with Odyssey, I played a crap load before I finished the story, and then a crap load after, because I can. Because I can.
You know, I told you on my first little big playthrough when I was 30 hours in, I told you it was already my favorite Assassin's Creed game ever.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely is now.
Yeah, I'm less time in than you because I do the thing that I do with all these big games is I poke at it. Like I go and play for 2 or 3 hours because I'm in the mood to Viking.
Man, we couldn't be more different. Like I
Yeah.
don't play this game unless I have 6 hours to sit down and play.
That's fair. I'll do chunks of 3 hours is like kind of the longest I usually sit and just straight up play games these days. Like I'll do a 2 to 3 hour chunk and then I need to do something else or I want to do something else. But I did this with both Odyssey and Origins as well, where it's like I'll play and then I won't play for days. And then I'll come back and I'll be like, what button does the thing again?
Yeah.
Because this is not Spider-Man. I've been doing a lot of no, right trigger doesn't do that in the last 2 weeks. And then I'll just like 3 more hours and I'm invested. But I'll poke at this game probably for 6 months. Like I'll wrap the story up pretty quick and then I'll just be like, I'm gonna go do some stuff. I want to be a Viking today. So
I gotcha.
it's me. You know, I did a little bit of that over the 2 weeks as well.
One of
It's
the things
good,
that I was
man.
going to tell you is I was, I don't want this to come off sexist, and I feel like it might.
Oh no.
I can't imagine playing this game as a different Eivor.
I feel
Like,
the
I
exact same way
Feel
as the female.
so connected to
Same.
Eivor, the character. It's not connected. It's not connected. I don't identify with him at all. It's that I'm so invested,
You're invested.
into his story. As I was playing it, I was like imagining him as a female like breaks everything that I'm currently doing and feeling about the game.
I don't think that that's sexist. I think that's a testament because I feel the same way, but
That's
I'm playing as a female character. So I think it's actually a testament to voice actors and writing that paints a character that you want to attach yourself
It's
to.
so good.
To me, I think that they've done a
The
phenomenal job
story
writing
is
this
so
character.
good. And
It's
when was
great.
the last time I said that about Assassin's Creed game?
I don't know. I liked Origins because I really liked Bayek and his story. And I won't spoil that for anybody who hasn't played it. And if you haven't, it's probably on sale somewhere and you should. And I loved Odyssey for different reasons, but like this is a better game than both of those.
I'm
Sorry. Not sorry. very
loving
good.
these sieges. It's everything I ever wanted it to be.
It's Viking as hell.
When I am scaling ladders up walls and there are fire arrows raining down all around me, and I'm hitting the battering ram against the gate, and it's
so good.
all of that Lord of the Rings set piece.
I was just gonna say it's Battle of Helm's Deep as hell,
so
and it
good.
feels good, dude.
It's so good. It's so good.
I think it's just combat is satisfying. There's one, combat ability you can get where she just mines, she flings axes, and then she double overhands the final throw at something.
I got that too.
It's like one of the earliest ones you get, but it's just so. It feels like I'm playing the Viking show I love watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like I'm interacting with that show, and they don't do a ton of pulling stuff away from you and giving you cool cinematics. You're doing all of it. So my biggest complaint with like something like Spider-Man is there's a cinematic on a bridge, and that the coolest stuff in it I feel like I didn't get to do, right? It was just kind of guided. This game does not do that. This game is like, oh, you want to use a battering ram? Run up and grab it.
Yep.
Oh, you want to kick down a ladder? Okay.
Pour
It's
hot
so good.
oil on people? Sure.
Sure. Throw an axe to that dude's head? Mm-hmm. You want some slow-mo of that guy's head just going that way? Fantastic. You want to stomp on that guy? You can do that too.
I've killed like 5 zealots. Like now I'm starting to feel
I haven't
powerful.
tackled it. Yeah. They captured the spirit of feeling like a Nordic badass Viking. And they didn't let me down. And I'm real here for it.
The game is still beautiful.
Yep.
Oh man, I came across one mission that I took a little screenshot of it. I won't spoil it, but I came across a mission that I thought was great. I am absolutely, as I mentioned, I played the game for 10 plus hours where I wasn't doing anything. But you know what I was doing? Finding all those secrets, finding every chest, unlocking everything, getting every page, getting all the I'm getting lost in that. Fighting beasts, finding like these beasts that roam the world. This is a game that, like I said, I don't want to play it unless I can sit down and sink lots of time into it, because I want to get there and I want to get invested and I don't want to leave. I don't want to play for an hour.
I agree. Like once I'm in this game, and this is rare for me actually to be sunk into a game. Like I will spend 3 hours in this world. I will do the thing where I'm like, yeah, I could fast travel there, but nah.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
same.
Get on my horse.
Yep.
That is rare for me. I'm impatient. I'm like a known impatient person. Like, oh, why am I not pressing the run button at all times? I want to ride the horse.
I'm doing the romancing.
I'm excited about that, except there's one character I really wish had been an option, and she's not.
I'm the same.
I think you know exactly who I mean. And
like we're talking about the same character.
Very early character, and she's excellent. And I was bummed because I thought she was great. But
I'm romancing everybody.
Yeah, sure. You're a Viking.
Just Viking slut. Just everybody. Everybody.
I did that in Greece, though.
Betrayal. Everybody. All of it. Yep. Let's do it.
I did that in Greece. When I was Cassandra, I was like, the Greeks, they know what's up. We're going to do this. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Oh, so good. I know who I am. So I have been playing a lot of that. You will be pleased by this. I spent 2 nights playing through all of Hivebusters.
Yeah.
Gears of War 5. Yo, that campaign's really good.
Good Gears game.
It's good. I think I dragged my son in on some Gears because he's 10. He likes third-person shooters.
Yeah.
He liked Resident Evil 5.
Jack
I don't
beat
hold that
Reach
against
today.
Dude, nice.
Yeah.
See? Kids can play video games. My son watched me play this campaign and he goes, Mom, is this co-op? I'm like, yeah. He's like, can we like play this? I'm like, why don't you play Gears of War 4 with me? Why don't we play Gears of War 4 and 5? And he's like, oh, okay, like just install it. And I'm like, so we're going to do that. But this is uniquely pretty in a lot of the same color palette ways that Valhalla kind of is. It's got that greenish, purple, really poppy, like especially early in Valhalla where you get the northern lights and all that good stuff. It doesn't look like a Gears game. It's
kind of Uncharted-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, a little, or like Tomb Raider-y.
Yeah.
It's very vegetative.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of vegetation happening. It's very, I'm going to use the word, it's moist. There's a lot of gross goober stuff happening.
Feels humid.
It does feel humid. It feels like my hair hates it. Like, oh God, no. It was great. It was really fun. I enjoy these 3 characters. Incredibly here for that. That was very fun. Did you just Viking for a week and a half, or did you do anything else?
No, that's about it.
Oh, nice. Wow, you really Vikinged, bro.
So here's the thing, I mentioned I really kind of tried to put some time into Switch and clean up Switch stuff. So I started playing some indies and stuff over there. I want to say I definitely played I played Sonic All-Stars Racing with Jack, and we traded a controller.
It's actually kind of fun, but I still want to be like,
what are you? It's dope. It's so good.
It's a fun game. It's
so good. I would love for them to make a sequel. But no, I didn't really do anything else on the Xbox, actually. I just did Valhalla. I got to one of those things where I have a couple of games I want to play. Like, I played a little Crash 4, but just a little bit. Just a little.
Right.
I think I played the first 2 worlds of Crash 4.
Okay.
But every time I was playing it, I was like, I just kind of want to Viking some stuff.
I kept doing like...
I'm telling you, I played a lot of Viking, and I played Valhalla like 30 plus hours.
I'm very proud of you. Like, I did the thing where I was like, I played Hivebusters, and then I was like, this is really good, but I wanted... But then I would quit out of the app, and then I'm just looking at it, and Valhalla is like, hey, girl,
Yeah.
how about you get on this boat? And I'm like, okay.
I think I'm going to beat Valhalla, and I can't tell you the last time I think the last time I beat an Assassin's Creed game was 4 on Wii U.
Oh boy, that's been a while. I think I've finished every single Assassin's Creed game except 3. I
beat 3. I liked 3.
I really didn't like 3.
I like 3.
That's a whole other show. We'll do that.
I didn't finish Unity. I didn't finish Origins. I didn't finish Odyssey.
Did you play through the Syndicate? The one that was...
Nope.
Oh, that one.
Played about half of it and turned it off too.
Eevee is so good. I did the thing where I was like, okay, so I played Hivebusters, then Valhalla. Then I played the first episode of Tell Me Why. Excellent.
Ooh.
Highly recommend. Very good writing. But then I was like, well, I could play episode 2, or I could just be a Viking again. So I kept bouncing in and out. And it was like, my son was like, Mom, it's like you can't decide. I'm like, no, I can decide. It's like I have a list of things I should be doing and a list of things that are Viking things.
Yeah.
I want to do.
Or you could be throwing axes.
It's very satisfying to throw axes. It's also satisfying when they're running at you and you shoot them with the arrow and drop them right in the right spot. Oh, that game is so
I feel terrible that it's not. It didn't. I feel like it didn't get the kudos that I would have liked to have seen it given, like Ori. But honestly, more so because in Ori, I kind of get it. It's a game. It's a style of game, and it's an indie-ish game that I can honestly understand why some people would have an issue giving it high praise.
Fair.
I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Whereas Valhalla is that game. Like, if Valhalla wasn't Assassin's Creed, if it was Viking made by some non-Ubisoft company,
it would have gotten...
Yes. I feel like it would have gotten a little more run.
I think what happened there is people are like, I did this. I played Origins. I played Odyssey. I'm burnt out. And I do get that. Like, I totally understand. And especially Odyssey, that really stacked the deck with a lot of nonsense side quests, just stacked it. And people burned out and are like, I don't think I can do this again. And then, but Cyberpunk's coming out in a month. This was before that lit into a huge dumpster fire. I think people just didn't want to commit to it.
Yeah.
And I get it, but also it's my favorite game this last year easily, and one I will continue months into 2021. And that says a lot for me about a video game, because I'm,
I finished the Pathless 2 on my PC. I got that finished. It's great.
Did you enjoy it all around?
Yeah, I did.
It's not
that long.
No, I have it in a stack. I know it'll be short. I just I had a list, and then
I beat it in like 4 playthroughs, about an hour, 2 hours each. Nah, It's pretty easy.
That's right.
But back to Valhalla, there is one character, man, that I love in the game, and then there's a turn. Can I say that? Is that a spoiler? Just to say,
I don't think that's a spoiler because you're not mentioning which character it is.
There is a turn. It's so good. Like, I was just like, the writing is so deep and it's so good.
Writing is good.
This mystery and intrigue and just lots of stuff.
It's my favorite open world game in a while. Probably since Odyssey, if I'm really honest. And I loved Cassandra. She's my favorite lovable meathead.
It's my favorite open world game since Far Cry
5.
Yeah.
That was good. I think I liked Odyssey more than I liked Far Cry 5 just because I liked the character more, and I like Ivor's character even more. Like, I like her more than Cassandra, and that's saying a lot for me because I really like her. Mm-hmm. She's my favorite lovable meathead, besides myself, I guess. So, video games. Look at that. We played video games. And talked about them. And now we
get back to Crash. I got to get back to Observer. I've got Empire of Sin to get into at some point.
I want to play Empire of Sin. It's my jam.
Yeah.
I have a grip of games. There's so many games to play. I don't actually know when I'm going to play them all. I'm going to have it etched on my tombstone, like, who gets my games when I die.
You should have
a will, but it'll just be my games.
A running backlog, and then you put that on your tombstone. Yeah. Did not get to 4,365 games.
Yeah, or it's just someone goes to my tombstone. It's like got a touchpad, it's a smart tombstone, and they tap it, and they're like, "Which games didn't she get to?" But I keep because I would totally haunt the hell out of people just crossing games off randomly, just putting my initials on there, like But I'm going to Tupac this, okay? I'm going to program the touchpad to cross games off at certain intervals after my death, so y'all think I'm still alive playing video games. That's what I'm going to do. All right, now we can do the news, because that got real stupid. There's not a ton,
No.
but there's enough.
Yeah.
And we got lots of questions, which is my favorite way to have a fresh show in a fresh year. So let's talk about Game Pass, because why wouldn't we? So Phil was asked about the possibility of like a family Game Pass tier, which I would love. I would pay you all the money, and he said it's something they want to do, and they do have a home console feature. We all know how the home console feature works, and multiple family members can access Game Pass that way. But it would be really lovely. Can they? They can, right?
Yes.
How does that? Yes, you can as long as it's on home console and the other person is signed in, I believe.
Yep. As long as that's set up, you can share Game Pass games. You can play them simultaneously.
Right.
But not other games that you've bought.
Mm-hmm.
And that kicks me and Jack off often. So Jack and I basically have to trade when we're playing.
Yes, I've done that with my son.
We can share the library. We just can't play at the same time, which means we can't play together.
Yeah, and I want to play together.
Which is what the family plan would enact.
I would pay double or whatever.
Would you pay double?
I'd pay double. But I have 2 kids. I have 3 active Xboxes in my house.
So that's where I wanted to go with this, because, he said it's something they would like to do. He does mention the home feature, but he also he specifically points out the reason. But for multiple family members with consoles, a family plan would help. And that's exactly right. For folks like us, we have multiple consoles in the house. We need a family plan. So the question is, like, how best to do this? I don't think double is good. That's too much. I would go 20 a month. I would raise it $15 a month, 20 a month, and I would let you do 3 accounts.
I would say, I would actually say this would start to work better if you gave a discount for longer periods of purchase. Like Gold used to do this. Gold used to be like, it's X number of dollars a month, but if you buy 12 months at once, it is cheaper.
Course, yeah.
Game Pass does not do this. It's essentially the same price no matter how many months you buy at a time.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Maybe it's 20 a month, but if you buy a year, it's 15.
Yeah, it works out to that, right?
That's good.
But I would be happy with that. I would buy more chunk of it.
I don't know how I'm going to upgrade to it. I'm set for 3 or 4 years.
Well, you are a very unique case of stocks every internet deal on Game Pass codes.
Penny saves, a penny earned.
I wonder if it would make sense to roll this into like, are there still 2 tiers of Game Pass? Is there still Game Pass? And so that's confusing as it already stands.
There's Game Pass for PC. Then there's Game Pass. Then there's Game Pass Ultimate.
I feel like,
which is dumb.
I feel like bump the price of Ultimate and roll it into that. That's where they should do it. So raise Ultimate by $5 more a month, and that's where you can get your.
I think that's a hard push for people that don't want the family plan. I think you still need to give them that option.
Oh, then we end up with 4 tiers of. They gotta do something about that because it's a lot. It's a lot of choices, and
I think the solution is very simple. They should let you connect 2 accounts per console and let those 2 accounts play simultaneously. That's an easy fix, because that's what you can't do now.
Sure, but they don't make more money on that.
No, they don't make more money on that. And we need to talk about the online part of it. Online should be free. But that aside.
That's another conversation.
That aside. That aside, they're going to cross that bridge at some point. They have to. They can't.
I agree.
They can't keep going PC supported games if they're going to keep charging. They can't do that. So eventually that's going to go away. But I like the idea of you can't let people have extra Game Pass for free at $15 a month. That's where you run into it, right? If you're saying like 3 accounts, then what's stopping me and 2 other people from getting together? So I think the family plan does need to be more, but double is way too far. I think $20 a month for family plan, and I think 3 is the most. It's like Nintendo, you have like 8.
Yeah, that's a lot, but also Nintendo service is not the same thing.
And the games are nothing.
Games, but it's not.
Yeah.
I feel like, maybe, but then what do you want? What do you do if you have a family of 5 or 6?
Well, then only 3 people can play at once. And I think that's fair. That's fine. Like, how many games are you actively going to have 5 different people playing? And if you say Jackbox, like, you can play on your phones and stuff. You don't need 3 different simultaneous accounts anyway.
So it starts to get interesting when you start to talk about something like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because Minecraft is on Game Pass. and Minecraft has Realms that is already an additional charge on top of it. So that's one exception to this rule. And also Fortnite isn't on Game Pass, but doesn't it need gold?
And I know that there's somebody out there that has it. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but how many people have 5 consoles? Right, like in the Minecraft space you're talking about, I could easily say, okay, yeah, Minecraft, but one of them's going to be on a Switch, 2 of them are going to be on PC, 2 of them are going to be on Xbox. Okay. Like, we're going to have 5 Xboxes to support that in 90% of cases.
Yeah, I think.
But a family should be able to play Gears co-op together at the same time.
Don't you hear family and think 4?
I do.
Do you know what I mean? Like, when I hear family plan, I think 4.
I do
that's
too.
That's the thing that I'm hung up on, I think. And that's why I would say double up to 4 people.
But even if you let 3 accounts simultaneously play. All right, so here's what I'm thinking about. You've got 3 Xboxes, right?
Yeah, I have 3.
Minecraft Dungeons or Gears of War, you could play local co-op on one box with 2 people, split screen.
Sure.
You could play with somebody else or 2 more people on another Xbox with 2 screens, and you could play up to 6 people on 3 Xboxes with local co-op split screen.
Yeah, if you want to get crazy and you're tech savvy enough to do this, you and I could make just about anything happen inside of course. 3.
I think the family plan specifically needs to be thought of like Grounded, Minecraft Dungeons, Gears co-op, Halo co-op. Like, I'm thinking I should be able to play with or against my son in Game Pass games at home.
So I see this different. I see this different. I see
like
this
a LAN party.
I see this as I have a bunch of people with Xboxes. It's Sunday afternoon and we all want to play a Game Pass game. Maybe a different Game Pass game. And we all want to be able to do that at once.
You all want to play at the same time.
And at the same time.
I got
and
you.
without having to shuffle. And that's where I think family of 4, and I would pay maybe up to double if it was up to double for a single month, but you got a discount if you bought 6 months out or whatever.
I got you.
That's where I think I stand. Much like gold, like a family gold plan. I want that. That's because that's what happens in my house. There's 3 of us. There's a library of Game Pass games. All 3 of us would probably play a different game at a different time, but we want to be able to do that without shuffling accounts.
I definitely want to be able to play. I want Jack and I to be able to play at the same time. We can't right now. So if Jack wants to play Halo or Madden, we can't if I'm also playing Valhalla. So those 40 hours I played Valhalla for Christmas, that was his Switch time. Like, that's basically what we're doing. We're alternating Switch and Xbox time. I would like for us to be able to play at the same time.
That's where I'm at. And I have
paying double for it. Like, I want to say that stings because Game Pass isn't cheap.
No, but I want to say pay double if you buy it 1 month at a time. Pay $20 a month if you buy 6 months out.
Sure.
Because if I'm committing to that with a family of 3 and I'm tech savvy enough to have that many Xboxes in my house, I'll give you your 6 months. I'll get the deal. I'm not going to do it or maybe I'd try it for 1 month, see if we get enough time out of it, and then I'll extend. That's where I feel like it works kind of like better in almost the original gold model, where it was like, it's $10 a month, but if you buy all 12 months, it's $60.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I feel like, and this is a very unique situation to me. How many people have 3 Xboxes? 3 people who want to play different Game Pass games? Like a very small percentage of us, right?
I thought 3 was like a good place, where 4, I feel like Xbox might be taken advantage of.
Maybe
4, you could easily get 4 flatmates or 4 college kids together. Now they're getting Game Pass all together for very small, like for 25% of what that app revenue should actually be.
Maybe that's where I say if you're going to go up to 4, you have to charge double.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You know, if you only want 3, then I could get with you on $20 a month. But I think that when you hear family, you hear 4. Yeah. In my brain, that's the way gold always, I think, was too. It's like
maybe they let you update it for 2 included. You can play 2 right now, and then if you want 4, it's $25 a month as opposed to
I don't
$15.
see them doing that because what they want right now is to boost those numbers as fast as they can. So they want as many new subscriptions as they can get.
And you got to watch out. You can't turn into like HBO Max or Netflix where everybody's just sharing accounts and you've got to monetize it.
Well, I mean, my situation, I have my kids under a family setup. They have their own accounts. They can even be logged as teen accounts or whatever, adult accounts, but they're set under my family plan. I think they should require you to have to link them to a main account instead of just having people like Nintendo's is different. You don't have to have them logged under your account. Microsoft, maybe it's smarter to do that, to have them owned by a parent account. Then it's really hard to take advantage of it if the permissions.
No, you're right. That's how you protect it. But at the same time, like, I really don't like it as it currently is. Like it's hard. Like I got to put in a password and stuff when Jack starts up certain
You
games.
can change all that stuff. You can set your permissions to avoid all that if
tried.
you want. Really?
Yeah, and I still haven't figured it all out.
It's a nightmare, but you
It's
can.
kind of a mess. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
really like that. I mean, it's okay, but I don't really like it.
It's not the new app actually does make some of that a little bit easier. There is
Mm-hmm.
a parental controls app that's actually pretty good. But look,
Yeah,
if there's
Romaine in the
serious
chat says, "How about you just letting everybody have 2 home Xboxes?" That's what I was saying. I think that should
that's
be
what you want.
allowed. Everybody should have 2 home Xboxes. Would be fantastic. I think that would solve half of the people wanting a family plan. To be honest with you,
Yeah, and I think it would, but it would
how
open
many
it up
people
to
have 3, 4, 5
Stupid
Xboxes
people
they
like
need to
me.
play at the same time?
crazy people like
Right,
me.
but you also have PlayStation and a Switch and a Wii U and just like I do. It's like let everybody play 2 for free.
Yeah,
And then
no,
maybe
you're
if
right.
you want more, then you can pay for more. But
Yeah.
I think that would
There's
be the
a
best
sol-
way.
I think there is a solution to this problem, and I think that when they decide to solve it and put out tiers of the service, they will also address the fact that they have PC, Game Pass, Ultimate, regular. They need to consolidate that stuff into a tier list that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
I want them to wrap it all into one.
I
I would scrap all of it, just call it Game Pass and make it
Yes.
15, $20 a month, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. But
And-
I know, and ditch gold as an alternate option, and just roll it all.
Yep.
Ultimate should be the
Yep.
only option.
Gold doesn't. It's no more gold. No live. I don't care if you're playing on PC. Streaming's included. It's all included. It's everything's just one inclusive subscription. Take it or
That
leave it.
they should do that. Essentially, make Ultimate the only tier, but start to give the if you buy 6 months, if you buy a year in
Yep.
one chunk, or subscribe, you do get a small discount, and that would solve both problems. People like maybe the console only player would be able to get their value down to about the same amount. They'll probably have more numbers too. It's less confusing. Just buy the one card.
Yep.
Good God. All right. Well, we've talked that to death. The horse is very dead. We dragged it through the street. Let's talk about things we've also dragged through the street. Let's talk about this Xbox controller stuff. You and I have both had different versions of this erratic connection behavior. Essentially, folks are experiencing issues with their wireless controllers. I only have an Xbox Series X, so I don't know if it's happening on the S as well. But they've indicated that they're aware some players may be experiencing disconnects with their new wireless controllers, and our teams are actively working on a solution to be included in a future update.
This
This is
happened to me
annoying.
several times when I was playing Valhalla over Christmas break.
So you're getting it during gameplay.
Getting it during gameplay, I'm just playing right in the middle of Valhalla. I'm playing, and all of a sudden the controller starts blinking. And I'm like, is the battery dead? Battery's not dead. The moment I press the button, hold it, turn it back on, it reconnects, and I just keep going. It just loses connection randomly for no reason.
Mine is weirder. Mine is I play Valhalla, I put the controller down, I get distracted by Twitter. I was reading something, my kids are talking to me, and the Xbox kind of goes to sleep and it starts scrolling the controller tips thing, and the controller shuts off. Xbox is still on. When I push the button to reconnect the controller, it won't reconnect. So I have to pop the battery. Yeah, so I have to pop the batteries out and then it'll reconnect. I don't have to resync it. It's very strange.
That would bother me.
It's annoying. It's only happening in idle though. It's not happening when I'm playing. What a weird.
I use my controller with my PC. I played the Pathless completely with it. I played Cyberpunk using my controller on PC. I've never had it happen to me on my laptop.
That's interesting. I know some people have.
It hasn't happened to me a bunch, but I only, you know what? I don't think it ever happened to me before Christmas break, but over Christmas break, I think it happened at least 4 or 5 times.
You also played a larger chunk.
I was playing a
Let
bunch.
it go. I've also heard people say it depends on the game. Some games aren't causing them problems, but other games are. I wonder
I
if that's
even
just
wondered if
iteration.
maybe it was Valhalla.
Yeah, I wonder that too.
The longer I play Valhalla, the more bugs and stuff I notice. Like it's not broken or anything like that. It's like charmingly buggy.
Yeah, janky.
It's not like
In a good
Cyberpunk buggy.
It's like Skyrim buggy,
Yeah.
where you can laugh at it and move on.
Yeah, like when you load the game and you're drunk all the time. It's like, what are they doing? Look at this.
I love Ubisoft games because you get all manner of dumb stuff. It's solvable stuff.
Yeah,
Most
or throwing dead bodies at NPCs and stuff like that. Like those are funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. Rob3000 asks, how soon do we think this will get fixed?
Knowing
3 to
Xbox,
6 months?
yeah, pretty soon. Like knowing Xbox, pretty soon. I mean, assuming they know what the issue is. It's got to be like some setting or range or something. But
This is a power issue or some sort of interference issue. They may be able to fiddle with because I know that people who own SteelSeries headsets, the 9X, some people are experiencing connection problems also with this console. So I'm wondering if it's a transmitter setting because that uses a similar connection method, if I recall correctly.
Could be.
We'll see.
Could be.
And also bonus points on Rob's question. How much longer until the share button actually does something on PC?
The share button does something on PC now, today actually, in Steam. I saw a firmware update in Steam, but they'll let you bind the share button, the screen share button, when using Steam. It is strange that it doesn't work with
Windows
Game Bar.
Yeah.
And you can't bind to it in Game Bar, so you can't manually map the function to it either.
I think
That's
the next
weird.
major feature update for Windows will give it to you.
Yeah, it'll
Right?
come. It'll probably
In
be a
6
while,
months?
but it'll come. Yeah, 6 months.
They don't care. Like I want them to care, but I don't think they care about the PC interactivity of that button.
I think they care. I just don't think they can think that it's a priority when they have a console that has.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They came in hot with a console. They have other things to deal with.
Yeah. They're like, hey, the controller works with the PC? Fantastic.
Cool, it works. Don't worry about it. We got to fix.
Keep
quick
playing your
consumer.
Epic games that we're not getting money off of. You know?
Right. Yeah, they don't.
They're not going to like
We're a
rush out there
second class
to get
citizen.
that
I'm
done.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. All right. And one more controller piece of news. This one's interesting. Apparently a survey went out to current Xbox owners asking if the console, quote, feels next gen.
I got this survey.
Did you? I did not.
I did. I filled it out.
Does it feel next gen? I don't know. It feels like it weighs about 10
heavy.
pounds of baby. Yeah. What do you want me to say?
It's about what next gen feels like.
As well as, quote, aware of PlayStation 5 controllers and if they want any specific features in them. Do you want adaptive triggers, y'all?
Yep. And this was like they refreshed a patent from 2017 that they've done every year where they have a patent for an Xbox controller with recoil resistance triggers. So there was lots of stuff on Twitter the day that this patent surfaced. They were like, Xbox copying PlayStation. They've had this patent on the books for years, as I'm sure PlayStation has as well. So this isn't new. It's definitely something they're looking at doing. So the question that I have to you is, do you think we'll see a controller refresh? Because we saw a controller refresh on Xbox One. The first Xbox One controller didn't have the headphone jack.
And Bluetooth. They swapped over to Bluetooth.
And they swapped the Bluetooth. You remember you had to buy that stupid communications
I have that
connector
thing in a drawer right next
So
to me.
dumb.
So bad. No, I don't think we'll get a standard controller refresh. I think this will be in the Elite controller.
That's
This
what
is exactly what they did with the Elite 2 and 1. They added the pressure controllers. They added the light version of adaptive triggers. And I think that this will be an Elite 3 controller feature.
That's exactly what I've been kind of pitching for a while. How do you I think the new controller is really good. And I think it's taken a lot of engineering from the Elite. So how do you keep the Elite a premium product? You give it these fancy controllers that
it's also
only the hardcore people will want, but they will pay for.
We'll pay for it $350 probably. If I had to guess, I'm joking. It's probably going to be more like $250.
$199.
Yeah, I was thinking $250.
No,
that's where I was thinking.
PlayStation's selling it for $70.
Yeah, so but like,
I mean, Joy-Cons are $70. They're not going to charge $250 for it.
If they charge $250, I will immediately tweet you in this.
Sure, I'll do the same.
$199. This will be interesting actually to see how much they charge for it. I don't see them refreshing this controller because because
the Elite 2 is what, $179.99?
Yeah.
So it'll be an Elite 2
but with
the square shot or with a screenshot button and adaptive controllers for $199.
Sure, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you're gonna get. I feel like they always overshoot.
Hashtag Donnie was right.
Them stay $250.
And then you think the funny thing is the memory card will be more expensive than the controller.
The pricing on accessories is so stupid. I could do an entire episode. The reason I don't think that they're going to put it, they did not, while they tweaked connectivity for headsets and the way the controller connected to the console, they never added features on the controller itself between those revisions. They didn't change how the controller physically functioned.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'd do it again, and I don't think they would do it because I think it would raise the price on that controller, and I don't think they want to. They love that $59 or $65 price point. Yeah. It's a good price.
And they were even, when they launched it, they cut those slight price Black Friday again $40.
$40.
Insane.
It's a good controller. I love the way that controller feels.
Controller.
The more I use it, the more I love it.
Same.
Like I picked up my Gears of War 5 Xbox One controller the other day, and I was like, ugh. You don't have any grip on the back. You're gross. Why are you so smooth? Just no. I got like upset.
Aw.
I love that controller, but I was like, oh, why are you so Yeah. But it doesn't feel right. It feels all wrong.
Mine's just a desk ornament now.
Yeah, mine too. So I don't touch it anymore. I have a Seath, like a translucent purple one that I love, but it just feels wrong. So I don't know. I didn't think originally that they would add this feature to the Elite. I know I'm on record as having said that, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, no, this makes sense. That's what they did with the Elite 1 and 2. They added that feature. So
in a lot of ways, it feels, and I talked about this in Game Tech with Devin, I think it feels like an optional thing. It's like a cool thing. Everybody that plays a DualSense tells me like they love it. It's great. But it's not a mandatory thing.
No, I don't need it. I play games and I think that feels cool. But I also am like, if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be pitching a hissy fit.
And there are some people that turn it off.
It's a lot. If you have like sensory issues, it feels like overwhelming sometimes.
So I think it makes a lot of sense to make it a premium item option for people that want to go find it. And then people that don't just have the regular controller.
Yeah. And you get your app and it gets even stupider. Yeah. The app for the Elite is real dumb. Like you can go far with how the response.
You can bind everything on that thing.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
So if you want to get real stupid, just give me triggers I can control the amount of tension on. Like, whoo, buddy. All right. We got more video games to talk about. What's coming out in January?
Well, this month we get Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which you
were very excited about.
Very excited for.
Let's go.
Hitman 3,
which I am very excited.
I saw Jeff Grubb was playing it.
Is he playing it already?
He's playing it.
Damn him and his beautiful hair that got stuck in a leaf blower.
Previews are coming out.
I would really like to throw tomato soup cans.
I think previews are out this week.
A fun fact about Hitman 3, I believe, now I know that this is true on Steam. I do not know on console. If you own Hitman's 1 and 2, you will get those maps in 3.
Yeah.
In their premium version. Same thing they did going from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Redout Space Assault is one that I put on here just because it's one that I'm kind of tracking. It looks kind of crazy. Looks like a little fun.
I haven't heard about this one. But I'll check it out.
Yeah, crazy like bullet hell space shooter type Star Fox thing. It looks fun.
Let's go.
Cyber Shadow. That's the Shovel Knight Yacht Club. They're publishing the game. It's not from them, but they're publishing the game from another indie studio. But it looks like that, it's
got a Messenger vibe.
Yeah,
exactly. It's going to be a hard 16-bit era cool thing vibe. I'm here for it.
That comes to Xbox Game Pass. So does The Medium on January 28th. That got previews this week.
Really? I haven't looked
lost in all the news that's been going on, but yeah,
a lot. Okay.
Yeah, there's like especially in the States, America's
we're very
burning to the ground.
Like, I could check Twitter and see if there's any gaming news, or I could just throw my phone into the toilet.
If there was, you couldn't find it.
I'm just gonna put my phone in the toilet.
I read a few that have me a little more excited. I want to love this game. I want it to be amazing, but everything that I've been seeing has quelled my hype. So I'm kind of prove it to me. I'm kind of middle of the way. Just kind of. I'm definitely gonna play it, but I'm not ready to anoint it yet.
I'm going into. Oh yeah, this is interesting. I will say before we move on, I'm going into the Medium having not watched or read anything except kind of the early trailers. So it's a concept I'm here for, and I hope that I'm just pleasantly surprised instead of bummed. That's where I'm rolling right in.
Yeah, I'm not going to look at any reviews or anything. I'm just going to go into it and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting, sometimes I think the way that they positioned it, especially like when we thought it was going to be a launch title, was like a big AAA game. That's not my expectation anymore.
I agree.
Aaliyah, which is spelled Elijah, but it is pronounced Aaliyah, is the next game from Devolver, and it is very much like an 8-bit indie action type game. It looks pretty good, and I love a lot of the Devolver stuff, and actually has an interesting story. And then the Yakuza Remastered Collection comes to Xbox Game Pass at the end of the month. So you get Yakuza 3, 4, and 5.
5, yes.
I believe.
That's exciting. Those games on an Xbox is still weird to me and still great. Play them. They're all very good. There's a lot of good stuff.
I bought the new Yakuza game.
Have you started it yet?
It hasn't arrived yet. I bought it 12 days ago, and it's still stuck in the mail.
Oh, that's right.
Every one of my packages is behind like a week or more.
Yeah, it's been really bad. I I ordered a textbook for one of my kids and it actually showed up on time, and I was like, my mind was
Wow.
blown. Like the FedEx man pulled up today when they said they were going to, and I was like, sir.
The seller even reached out to me. He's like, I'm so sorry. I sent it the next day. I know. I told
Not
him.
their fault. Yeah.
I was like, every one of my packages is delayed. Don't worry about it.
It's funny, I ordered some art prints from like the UK right before they stopped mail going out from the UK for that like weird week there. And they're just like, dude, it's sitting. And I'm like, whenever I guess I don't care. It's art. It doesn't expire. It's as long as it's kept flat. But I ended up getting it before it even got worse. So, oh God, it's a mess.
Nice.
All right, and we've got Game Pass updates. Oh baby, Injustice 2 on the 7th.
It's out today, actually. Injustice
Yes.
2 and Torchlight 3, I just saw on Twitter. I think they're up now.
They do that a lot. They tell you a date, but it's always 24 hours before.
Nobody
and they're
cares.
like,
They just
"'Cause
put it
we
up.
can." Yeah, just put it up.
Just put it up.
The other one that I'm interested in, and I'll let you go through the rest of the list, is What Remains of Edith Finch. If you haven't played it, it's on the 14th, and you should, because it's special.
Yeah, Y2K, What Remains of Edith Finch and Neoverse are on PC, and then Little Acre, Torchlight 3, and I know this is Pro Evolution Soccer, right? It's PES. When
Yeah.
the hell did they start calling it eFootball PES 21 Season 1? What?
Not only am I American, but I don't know anything about soccer, so I have no idea. This could have happened a decade ago, and I just wasn't paying attention.
What a mess. Anyway, those are your Game Pass games. When it came out, there's a lot of people on Twitter being like, Game Pass sucks this month. And I was like, guys, remember, The Medium, Cyber Shadow, and all the Yakuza games come out this month. These are just the Game Pass games next week.
I love that people are like, they suck this month. Have you been through the whole catalog at this point? Because I can guarantee that you have not. There's
Yeah.
something for you in there.
There's games that I haven't either.
Butts.
I'd like to go into the Stalker 2 update that came out. IGN first got the Stalker 2 update where they released a trailer of in-game footage. Did you watch this trailer?
No, not yet.
It's all of 9 seconds.
I that's what everybody said.
And they
I was-
walk
well,
through a
it's not-
hallway, and you get to look out a window, and that's it. And you really don't get to see the character.
Bro, that's all I've gotten to do for the last 9 months from home. I don't need a game trailer. I've walked through hallways and looked sadly out a window. I don't need a 9-second
It
trailer.
looks really pretty. It looks like Metro. And they confirmed ray tracing on both Series X and Series S. They confirmed 4K on Series X. They said that it will be available day one on Game Pass, which we already knew. But the important part, they reiterated a 2021 release date. And I'm just calling BS. We'll see. Sure.
Didn't Shadow of Chernobyl take like 6 years to actually come out, or some
Yeah.
5 years?
And
it was ridiculous.
It's worth mentioning that this game was announced in 2012.
Yeah, okay, no, it'll be out never. I almost choked. I forgot about that. That's why when you told me they released a trailer and you're like, did you watch it? I'm like, no, I don't believe that that's a trailer. Now you telling me that it's just what I've done for the last 10 months makes me feel like maybe they should just shut up.
It was released in 2012. It was re-shown at E3. I think I looked at like 2015 or something like that. And here it is now. And they're like, we promised 2021.
No, you
and
don't.
hey, maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Your optimism is adorable.
It's probably
It's very cute. I think they're going to round it out to a nice even decade. But this thing has been sitting in the hopper. Like, you know what? They're going to be at a meeting. They'll be like, 2022 is better. It's a full 10 years. It'll look real good on resumes.
Did you play Shadow of Chernobyl?
Briefly, not the whole thing.
I never played it.
I need to go. I want to. I
But
just
the
never got
trailer definitely looks like my kind of game.
it. I think it probably is your kind of game. Didn't Dying Light 2 tweet a thing this week too?
They said 2021 is going to be awesome.
I told you that.
I'm excited.
I want to play that game.
I'm gonna gleefully, I'm gonna get ready. Like there's gonna be a stream sometime this summer. You and I are gonna be talking over it.
Yep.
Dying Light's gonna come up. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, he's gonna explode. And I'm gonna. I'll bring little poppers. There's little for you, just for you. Little party hat if it happens.
We'll see.
That I'm more interested in playing than this.
Yeah, no, I am too. To be honest with you, the only interest that I have in Stalker 2 is that's on Game Pass. If it wasn't in Game Pass, it would fall so far down the list of things that I'm monitoring. But yeah, it's on Game Pass, so of course I'm interested in it. And I will admit, when they showed off the console and they showed off the trailer looked good. It's like my impression is it's like Fear. It's horror shooter.
I haven't played enough of the original, but yeah, it's probably in that range. It's post-apocalyptic. It's everything is bad.
I like
it's
that.
got a
Let's
Metro
shoot stuff.
vibe. Yeah, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I want to play that. But also, I don't believe them when they give me
No,
dates.
I don't
because
either.
How the dev cycle for the first game went. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
sure. Just let me know when we're actually. This is one of those developers. I'm like, just let me know when we're like a month out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just shut up.
After the year we've had, I honestly don't, and I've been this way for a while. Folks that listen to us for a while, I don't believe any release date. And this kind of goes back to, actually, this was before you. You may not know this yet, but I have the distinction of live on air saying that Ubisoft was going to delay their entire catalog.
And they did.
And they did. And since then, and especially since COVID started, I was like,
Yes.
everything is delayed. Everything.
Anything that was planned between now and 2022, 2023 is messed up. Because you can't just dump a year of in-person dev and not expect the cascade effect to happen after that. So just get ready. Buckle up, kids. Stuff's going to get delayed for another year or two.
Yeah, and for the record, the only reason I thought that Ubisoft's going to delay everything is I always think that Ubisoft wants to be there at launch of a console. And I was sitting there watching them. I was like, there's no way they're releasing, this giant Watch Dogs game 6 months before consoles release. They're totally going to delay. Yes. They're going to delay that. They're going to delay Immortals. They're delaying everything. That's what I said, and that was true.
I'm still legitimately shocked that they crammed Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, and Immortals into like a 2-month window. Yep. I don't know how, or a 1-month window. I don't know how I feel about them doing that, and I'm curious how that shakes out.
I'm not sure we're going to be playing Far Cry in May or whatever that leak date is. Nope, I'm not believing that either. I don't believe in nothing.
Yeah, I am very skeptical of anybody who tells me a release date. Not because I don't want to believe the release dates and not because I'm a cynic. It's more to do with the fact that I'm like, I know you want good vibes and I know you want to keep people excited, but the reality just doesn't exist there.
The past year has been too hard. And especially after Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah,
if you need a delay, you delay everything. Do not put a game out.
Is Microsoft sitting there going, whoo, made the right call about that Halo game, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Someone's entire butt was clenched over that Cyberpunk thing, and when that was a nightmare, they like finally got to relax the buns of steel for like a minute.
If you're having issues right now with game dev and it's not coming together, do not put it out and say we'll fix it later. Do not do that. You do not want to be the next Cyberpunk.
There's so much bad juju that has been cast in a very long shadow from that experience for a lot of people. Just chill, dude. Yeah. And don't promise things you're not going to hit.
I'd love to play
delaying a game.
Far Cry 6 as soon as possible, but I would not be shocked at all if it releases October 15th, 2021.
Here's my thing. There are a lot of video games out. I haven't played them all. I made a joke at the top of the show about my Tombstone having a list of the ones I have not played. It's fine. Hold your game for 6 more months. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I want to play the best version of your game, not the version of your game.
Before we get into questions, I didn't put it in the notes because I when it was happening, I didn't think it was a story, but I guess we should at least mention it. Speaking of delays, did you see all the rumors that Microsoft was dropping Xbox One for Halo?
No.
This was floating around right before Christmas because, and this is why I would have never put it. I would have never put it in the notes. It was already been debunked, but we should at least mention it. There was a job listing on LinkedIn for Halo Infinite that specifically stated Series X. And they were like, everybody was like, well, that's it. Xbox, it was a UI development. And I was like, that is not confirmation of anything.
It just means they need someone for this specific purpose.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's like marketing. Why would you list your old console? Why would you list every platform? You're just going to list your new thing. It's just marketing speak. But everybody ran with it. YouTube videos were made. Blogs were written.
People were bored.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Bored. And I think 343, like the next day, was like, no, we're not doing this, guys. That's the part of this Twitter social echo chamber that it's just like, man, I feel for those people. You've got to constantly debunk everything all the time.
It's exhausting just as someone who reads it from 15 different outlets every day. And I'm just like, guys, oh God.
But the question exists, when we've talked about before, but the question exists, would you, if that was true, it's got a year-long delay, it comes out next November. That's even if it comes out next November. I'm not 100% sure it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
It is their anniversary. I think they're going to try their best, but
yeah, they want to hit that date.
But would you be upset if they
Personally, no. A full year after the launch of a console saying that we're going to drop the old console, no. Because at that point, if you want one, you can buy a new one. If you want it bad enough, you can buy it. I know that there's a lot of people who are like, but the install base, but $500. I get it.
I even think it's an install base thing. I would be upset because they promised the game for those people.
That's fair. I don't disagree.
I don't like
with
when
that.
companies do that.
If you make a promise, you should keep it. I
Breath
realize
of the
that that's
Wild
very
needed to be on Wii U.
Yeah.
Because they sold a lot of Wii U's on the promise that Breath of the Wild was coming.
And yeah, okay, so I agree with you. Given that piece of information, yes. If it was just a blanket statement of do you care?
I don't care how bad it is. I
It should
really
be
don't.
bad.
I really don't.
Don't play it there.
I know. I don't think it will be. But I
No,
don't care
they'll-
how bad it is. It needs to be there.
They can't pull another Cyberpunk. They can't do that to people.
Yep.
They have to make it and I think they'll make it very functional.
I have no doubt it will be just fine on Xbox One. The whole reason that I've been defending this point from the beginning is that people keep forgetting that this is a free-to-play multiplayer game. It's not going to be the ray tracing juggernaut that destroys your hardware console thing. They can't do that in a free-to-play sense. That's not what Halo was meant to be. They want Halo to be played by everybody, not people with elite hardware.
Yeah.
That's the
No,
thing.
I don't disagree. I do not disagree with that point.
So that makes me think it'll run great on Xbox
It'll
One.
run fine because it's a Microsoft product. It's very rare for me to see a first-party game that gets released cross-console that they don't at least make very functional.
Yeah.
Will it be the best version? No. Will it work very well? Yes.
Yep.
It will be fine.
I agree.
Wouldn't be worried. Don't get your panties in a twist.
Imagine how good, remember how good Gears 4 and 5 run on Xbox One.
I do remember because I played them on there and they were great.
Yeah, Halo Infinite will run on Xbox One just fine.
It'll be fine. All right. We got lots of questions because it's our favorite. Well, it's my favorite, and Donnie's just along for the ride.
Well, let's not do them all.
No, I'm not going to do all of them.
That show next week's going to be a little long.
Yes, that's true. Let's pull a couple questions because we're already in an hour here, so that's fine. I do like this question. I'll ask it this week. Kyle asks, when are we going to see Jax, my dog, make a special appearance on the show, give him his own doggy Xbox shirt and everything? I'm going to see at some point if I can get that dog to sit right behind me in this chair for a live show. Maybe I'll see next Sunday if I can get his sleepy ass down here. He has made an appearance in other podcasts with his voice because if they record during the day and the FedEx man comes, he hates that guy.
Yeah.
And he gets borky. So I did enjoy this question. Everybody loves Jax. Fun fact, he is named after the Mortal Kombat character.
Nice.
Why not? Why not? All right, your turn, Donnie. What you got?
Future Towers asks, what is a Japanese release only game that you really wish we had an American release for? For him, he's a huge Dragon's Dogma fan, and he really wishes that Dragon's Dogma Online came to the States. I don't have a great answer for this because, one, I feel like this is a very Nintendo or PlayStation-centric question.
It is. Yes.
There's not a whole lot of Xbox games in Japan only, I think. That said, I have a standard answer for this because I also don't follow usually what's happening in the Japanese only space. Suda51, and Empire fans may not know this, but I'm a No More Heroes fan. I like Suda51 games quite a bit. Suda51 made a Fatal Frame game that was only in Japan. And for years I stalked it thinking it was coming here, and I predicted it in forums and stuff, and it's never released, and I've only watched it on YouTube. And I kind of hate it because it looked kind of awesome. So that'd be the game that's only over there that I really wish I could get a chance to play one day.
That's a good answer. The one I would have answered, I think, has happened. I believe it has happened. So there were two parts of Persona 2 that were released. One was released everywhere, and one was only released in Japan. And I believe when it was re-released here on PSP, the version that we did not get came over. I believe. Someone will need to correct me.
There's been a lot of this happening in the last decade.
Yes, quietly, and in games you wouldn't expect.
As games have become global, we're getting a lot of English translations and ports and releases. A lot of that stuff's been happening.
You ready for my real answer? My real answer is Mother 3.
Yeah, that's everybody's
answer.
It's
my answer because I have played a fan translation of that game. And look, I realize it's
is it as good as the internet wants it to be?
It's really good. That game made me cry. So,
is it 30 years of pining and
nothing is ever going to live up to that, I think, for a lot of people.
Is it the holy grail of video games that the Nintendo Power has made it for the last 30 years?
No, nothing is that good. I'm a huge Earthbound Mother fan, and I love Mother 3, but That's my actual answer. Like,
Yeah.
it would have been the Persona game. I think it was called Eternal Punishment. I think that was the version that didn't come out in the US. Might have
That
been
is the answer.
but Mother 3 is the answer. I realize this is an Xbox podcast, but whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll do one or two more. This one's good from Los. When is Design Lab opening? I've been saving up my Microsoft account like a kid's piggy bank. It's more swole than the dudes Elaine used to date. If you want jokes about that, you can go where I make it very clear that if I'm going to date a dude, he's going to be a muscle-bound idiot. I love my husband.
That's
and he's
fantastic.
Yeah. Los continues, lie to me. Tell me when I can order a customized controller. Also, this is the question. If you're making one, what does your color scheme look like? What do you think? 6 months for Design Lab?
Yeah, it'll probably open up what I would say is like late spring or summer. I was thinking like right before E3 or right around E3.
Yeah.
Probably what they had in mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking absolute latest now alongside the new Halo date.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
It depends on the manufacturing situation for them too, because like they're still not making enough consoles.
I just imagine all parts are being geared towards making controllers for consoles. So until they get that stock set up somewhat good, they can't open up, secondary stock. Yeah.
They've got to be able to just ship consoles to stores and have them be sitting on shelves before they can do this, which is why I think the minimum might be 6 months and it might be longer. All right, what colors you doing, Donnie?
I've always wanted a PSVG themed Elite or Xbox controller, but I can never find a color scheme that I really like because we have a bunch of colors. But this made me think I would love for somebody to give us their take on an Empire themed controller.
Yes.
That would be cool. I would love to see something like that.
I would do some dark green, light green combos on a black controller for Empire.
I was thinking like green sticks on a black controller, but with, like how we do our Empire logo color scheme, like maybe do that same color scheme on the buttons, on the face buttons. That could be cool. Maybe with green triggers, like something like that could be cool.
I would do that. And it depends on which greens, because I have a header on my Twitter that you made for me that has like kind of a darker green that I really love, and I like the idea of like a lighter green on the sticks. But it would be a black.
Yeah,
controller.
so do I. Yeah,
I like
something a little more neon-y.
Yeah, make it pop.
Yeah,
make it stupid. I love stupid.
So, can you still design controllers even if you can't order them?
I don't know. That's a good question. I wonder if you can still do Design Lab for the old controllers, or did they shut the whole?
I think
thing
they
down?
shut the whole thing down, but I don't know if the website's still available.
Bet you it's not.
But
they're probably redesigning the whole thing.
When they bring it back, I might design, or at least if a fan designs something that I really like, I may get an Empire controller.
I can't resist putting my stupid gamer tag on a controller.
On it's stenciled for us. Eat the hype and ET Dragon.
There you go. Dude, I would do it. I'll pay premiums for stupid colors.
Or stencil it, maybe. I'm here for that.
If I could fit I'm here for that.
It's good.
I would do that. It's a good tagline. I'm very proud of it.
It's good.
It's very stupid. You want to do one more?
Let's see here. Oh, let's do trays.
Okay.
Did you see the story today that detailed Xbox's attempt to buy Nintendo?
Well, what do you think would have happened if that actually happened?
Did you see it? The story?
No. This came out today.
This is on Bloomberg. They have a whole write-up. It's like an oral history of Xbox.
Oh.
And they detailed a story of them going over and sitting with Nintendo and then offering to buy Nintendo and being laughed out of the building.
What year did this happen?
Oh, I don't remember.
Was this
early
original Xbox?
I think it was around then or slightly before, but yeah. And they also tried to buy EA, or they talked to EA as well, or Square.
Those both make, well, Square doesn't really make sense, but EA makes more sense. I'm actually surprised somebody hasn't done that.
Square apparently balked at them for saying like the price wasn't, their offer wasn't high enough, and then they walked out, and then Square kind of did what Square did after that. Mm-hmm. EA totally made sense to me as an Xbox. Sorry, so what do you think would have happened if this actually happened?
If Microsoft bought Nintendo.
I have a lot of thoughts on this.
I feel like we would actually have an online service from a Nintendo product that would be good.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I don't know what would have happened.
I don't
here.
think this is possible.
I don't think you buy. I don't know that a global company buys a Japanese company and makes this like work.
No, that I would disagree with. I think.
All of Nintendo's in-house dev is like Japanese.
Sure.
Development.
Yeah, everything.
That's a very different.
Well, not everything, but most.
Not everything, but a lot.
They've got retro. You know.
Do they?
They just bought Next Level, and they're in Canada. Like they have developers that are not in Japan, but the company, especially the hardware, is all Japanese dev.
If this actually happened, I don't think the Wii would have ever happened.
No, it would not have happened. And that's
just bombed out Nintendo.
That's my
and
issue.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing, this would have been awful for Nintendo because these companies could not be further apart.
Services company, hardware and first party games.
Just the
company.
American way that Microsoft like dominates, and just that American path of establishing themselves that Microsoft forged is not Nintendo. And in the gaming space, I could have seen Microsoft buying Nintendo and then trying to make Nintendo make games for America, which means the games probably would not have been great. And I could have seen slowly but surely lots of developers leaving. And it would have been like kind of like a rare situation where Xbox owned all of this IP, but it was IP of the past that we look to and not what they are now.
Yep.
I don't think that Nintendo could not be owned by another company. I've always thought that. I actually think Nintendo is probably, and they're actually, not to turn this into a Shaq thing, but they're actually kind of the Yamauchi family that owns, like the family trade asset that owns Nintendo is actually going through like a shareholder battle now where they're trying to buy shares. Yeah. I think Nintendo is probably potentially available. I want to say that. I want to be responsible when I say that. They're not for sale.
They're not for sale, and two, available for sale and having enough money to purchase a company that's doing as well as they're doing right now.
They're not for sale. They're not going to be sold. But I think there are people that I could see aligning themselves with Nintendo, most notably Disney or Apple.
Sure.
I absolutely could see Apple buying Nintendo or partnering with Nintendo or buying shares of Nintendo to put Nintendo games on Apple devices. Absolutely. Could I see that? Is it happening anytime soon? No. Do I see that 50 years in the future? Yeah, I could see that happening.
Maybe. I think if that was going to happen, if it had the best chance to happen around the Wii U. When Nintendo needed it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking eventually, again, it's not a Nintendo show, but get this point off my plate.
You do what you want.
Eventually, everything's streaming, everything's digital, it's not hardware based. That's a different Nintendo than what we have now.
Yeah, I don't...
That doesn't make any sense with Microsoft ever.
Agree.
There's no place where Bethesda made all the sense for Microsoft to buy.
That was a property IP that they could insert into their services. That's what they wanted. They don't want to buy a company whose hardware they have to deal with. That's not what they want. They will never buy a company, I think, at this point, whose hardware they have to deal with. They want to take a library and insert it into a service that they can sell.
Their whole mission and the whole philosophy is different. Is probably the better way of putting it. You've got Phil Spencer talking about how they waited on RDNA 2 feature sets on their chips and everything. Nintendo
doesn't give a
crap about any of that.
They have a list of IP and they say, we'll make the next hardware just a little bit better and we'll just put that IP.
But they literally build their hardware around games that they're designing. They start playing with a mechanic and they're like, hey, how do we build a controller to take the advantage of this game? And then they retrofit the console around it.
You can't insert a company like that into a company that says, we have a standard controller that we iterated a very small amount for this new console. We just want games. Yeah. Straight up.
It's going to go bad.
It doesn't work.
It's going to go really bad.
Somebody crashes and burns in that deal and somebody gets put in the closet and it's Nintendo stuff.
Yep.
So
what you would have had is Xbox making Xbox would have built American studios to make Mario games.
Yes. That
wouldn't have been the Mario games that we remembered.
Because they don't have the feel, as stupid as that sounds.
Yeah.
That is actually a good question. I'm going to go back and read that Bloomberg article.
And it doesn't mean, like it's not even a knock against Microsoft. It's just very different. Whereas when I think of Microsoft, I think of a PC-based company. That's where Bethesda makes a lot of sense. They're a PC-based game maker.
I really do stand by what I said before all these consoles came out. And when you really look at these three, manufacturers, Microsoft doesn't care what hardware you play their video games on. They're selling a service. They've always sold you a service. That's what Windows is. That's what Office 365 is. They are a service.
The Xbox was literally the direct Xbox. That's what it was. They were building a gaming PC.
They don't care.
Based around DirectX. They were just pre-configuring it for you.
Exactly. They don't, it's a service they want to sell you. Sony wants to sell you that OG experience of getting a fresh, shiny thing with first party IP, and Nintendo wants to design hardware around game mechanics.
Yeah. To Nintendo, it's all about IP.
These three companies don't mix. They'll absorb other companies. Smaller ones are just games, but there's no world in which this ends well.
This happened. There were rumors, I think, 2 years ago that, and I think actually, now that I'm remembering, I think Phil even basically almost kind of confirmed these, were around the Xbox One launch when everything was going terribly. Phil was like, Nadella was wondering why they were even still in gaming. They're like, what are we doing? And there were rumors at the time that Xbox might have been available. And people were trying to consolidate, like maybe Nintendo should buy Xbox. It doesn't work the other way around either.
Agreed.
For the same reasons. It doesn't work the other way.
When I say no, you can't combine any two or three of these companies into one thing. It will not.
If somebody was going to buy Xbox, it would be like Amazon or Stadia or Epic or Steam or Valve or something. Like, it's not going to be Nintendo and it's not going to be PlayStation. Those brands don't. It's just not just the brands. The brands, the philosophy, their approach, their way of doing business do not mix.
It's not. It's
They're
oil and water.
fundamentally different.
Any combination.
Yeah.
In any combination, it's oil and water.
I feel like maybe I was making Microsoft seem like the bad guy. I didn't mean to.
No, it's true. And this doesn't work with Nintendo.
Nintendo couldn't manage Xbox either.
And it wouldn't work with Sony either.
Could you imagine
too different.
If Nintendo bought Xbox and Nintendo, like Xbox is like, we've got Halo, we've got Gears, and Nintendo brings them the Wii U.
I could just see somebody just like actively getting gray hair in a meeting over
or
that.
a 3DS.
I'm anxious.
Somebody brings them a 3DS. They're like, guys, we've got the latest and greatest in 480p gaming.
Guys, we want to pitch you this Wii U. It's like the Wii, but better. But wait, oil and water.
Yeah, it would not work either way. It would be a disaster.
Like I said before, none of these companies can combine in any way that makes sense for anyone. They're all too different, and that's why I like them all for different reasons. That's why I play games on all three of these systems.
Ooh, Tony Baker in the chat says the Kinect might have been better. Good point. Very good point.
Yes, that's true, but there would never have been enough hardware to make it happen because Nintendo's like...
It's too expensive.
It's too shiny.
Yeah, Kinect took a lot of R&D. It was very investment. And it was a very big investment, like when they rolled it out. It was kind of state-of-the-art stuff. It
still was really cool. I was still in academia when that stuff was coming out. And what people have used those cameras for and that interface for, not for games, has been very cool. For games... I can do without.
They did make a lot of money around it.
Weird.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you had to buy that or get that adapter kit to go from to go to like the One X from the One, and those things went on eBay for like $150 after that because they only made so many of them and you could not get them.
It was the Xbox One version of Kinect was a really great webcam.
Agreed.
Like for streaming and stuff, it was fantastic use for that.
Yeah, I remember making whole room Skype calls with that thing.
Yeah, it was really nice in that regard.
It was, oh man, if only it was here now when I'm in a Zoom meeting every other freaking day.
See, if there was a pandemic in 2013, Xbox would have taken off.
Yeah, no, for real though, they could have used, someone might have used Skype still. Oh, I can't help myself, I'm sorry. It's so bad. I didn't really need that dark future vision. Screaming at the Xbox to join your pandemic call, like just yelling. No, I said join the call. I yelled at that thing so much it hated me.
Would have been good.
Yeah. I think you want to stop there for this week on questions. We'll save them for next week when we have a party.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
No party. You're gonna get very tired 10 p.m. Sunday, Elaine.
It's like my third or fourth show that day.
Oh, Donnie's going to be a trip. I'm going to have
to... shame on me for wanting. Sean's going 24 hours. I don't see how people do it. That's long.
Hard. I've done it a couple of times for Extra Life. And the 1 year I did it, I had like a really minor head cold right at the beginning of Extra Life. I got to about 3 a.m. and there's probably still video of this. I had to write on a whiteboard. I lost my voice completely. I had a co-writer with me. I lost my voice so bad that I had laryngitis for like 2 weeks after it. Like I
watch people do that. And every year, I kid you not, I look at it and I go, not for me. Like
it's very hard.
I feel like my neck would hurt, my back would hurt. Like, no, I don't want, no.
the pain of that. I mean, I took like 2 a.m. showers to keep that stuff from happening. I'm in my 20s, totally fine.
Like I'm
now,
podcasting here for an hour and like my shoulders are
I
kind
know.
of stiff, you know. I'm rolling my neck around.
Feeling my late 30s right in my vertebrae.
Yeah.
The current
I mean,
moment.
props to him. Props to him. Support us. Gaming for Guru will be live. Not this weekend, but next Sunday. The next show will be delayed to Sunday. We'll be live 10 p.m. Elaine and I will be going until midnight.
That's right, kids. 2 hours. We'll answer questions.
We'll talk 2021.
Oh, baby.
We did our preview, but we'll talk 2021. I was thinking we might talk a little Xbox One generation stuff in there.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We got to talk about some favorite games, talk about where we're playing. If you guys have stuff you're like interested in hearing us talk about for that 2 hours, just tweet us. I'm ET Dragon. Donnie is Eat the Hype. And before we log off, let me hit up the Patreon producers. I have a different list now, I think.
Yep.
Which is like, I had a vibe. And now I
Updates.
have, here we go. All right. Just I moved the one name to the end because I can't do this without that. Okay, this is on. It's on my. What the hell do they call it when actors give a list of things they have to have in the green room?
Demands.
But they have like a name for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a name for that list, like a specific.
Only
word.
green M&Ms. That's
only green M&Ms, and one name needs to be at the end of my Patreon producers list. Let's do this. We've got. Big shout out to all our Patreon producers: Michael Masick, Barry Cathcart, Edwin Callow, Nick Creature. That's a great last name. If that's that's an actual last name, that's awesome. Rude Days 93, Ben Moxham, Rob Emanuel, Nick Fallhaber, Paul Calicote, Kyle Heyman, Chris M, Devin Tyus, Josh Bourbon, and Grouchy Surge. Oh, I miss saying that for the last couple of weeks. Thank you to everybody who supports us at the producer level, who retweets the show, who tweets at us, who said so many like nice and kind things. I can't stop thanking you guys. I just want to give you a big non-COVID internet hug. Like, I'll make the huggy gloves with the 10-foot poles. It'll be
nice.
fun. Yeah. That's what's up. I think that'll do it. Donnie, are you good?
I'm good.
Well, I guess we'll see you guys next week. And until then, play some video games, y'all.
Peace, folks.
Bye.